pre-trial in this matter. Ms. Underwood, how would you like to proceed on behalf of Mr. Spearman?
Your Honor, we will be asking for a COBS in this matter to the low end of the guidelines, no more than 12 months.
So say that again, Ms. Underwood.
We will be asking for a COBS in this matter to the low end of the guidelines.
All right.
And no more than 12 months.
Mr. Snade, do the people have any position?
Miss Underwood hasn't shared any guideline scoring with me, so I really can't weigh in on that.
Okay. Miss Underwood, I understand the low end of the guidelines, but I can't agree to no less than 12 or no more than 12 months because I don't know what the guidelines are.
Mr. Spearman, do you understand that the judge will agree to the low end of the guidelines, whatever that is?
Yeah, I understand that she agreed to the low end of the guideline, but if it's more than 12 months, I might as well take it to trial.
Okay, well, I can't, Ms. Underwood, because I don't know what the guidelines are. I haven't had a conversation.
And I understand that, Your Honor.
Right. So would this be
if you could give me a few minutes, maybe, or if the court would like to bring Mr. Spearman back.
No, I'll give you a breakout room. So hold on.
We don't need a breakout room for this. We already talked about it. I mean, if I can.
So Mr. Spearman, hold on. So there could be a COBS to whatever the low end of the guidelines are, but I don't know what they are. I don't know you. I don't know your record. So I can't agree to 12 months. But your guidelines could be less than 12 months. They could be more than 12 months. I don't know. Whatever Ms. Underwood calculated them at, she's probably correct. She does a good job on those, but you know, it's up to you. Do you want to enter a plea or you want to set up?
Yeah, if it's more, so nobody here know what the guidelines are?
Mr. Spearman.
So Mr. Spearman, I understand. I used to work in Wayne County, and we did the guidelines, and they were available at the time of a plea. We don't do that here in Lenawee County. So I understand in some jurisdictions you may know exactly what your sentence is going to be at the time of entering a plea, which is very helpful. But in this county, no, we don't know what the guidelines are.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just cop to something.
Okay,
I'm not gonna cop to something that can be
Mr.
2 or 3 years.
Mr. Spearman.
All right, Mr. Spearman, that's fine. I'm gonna set this for, let's see, we can do, I can either set it for a trial, Ms. Underwood. Looks like it would be a 1-day trial, or I can set it for another pre-trial, Ms. Underwood.
I think another pre-trial, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Spearman, I'm going to set this for another pre-trial on July 26th at 8:30 in the morning. And that'll give everybody a chance to review the guidelines and that Ms. Underwood's prepared and maybe give you a more definitive answer. So we'll see you back on July 26th at 8:30 in the morning. Ms. Underwood, can you prepare the stiffen order to adjourn?
I will do that, Your Honor.
Very good. So thank you, Mr. Spearman.
I just would like for everybody to be on the same page here, that's all.
No, absolutely fine. All right, you're all set, Mr. Spearman. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's July 26th, Your Honor.
Yep, at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome, everybody. What's up? How we doing? It is Thursday night, and today the judges were scolding and lecturing, and it was phenomenal. We got right on the bottom. I call them the Pointer Sisters of Court. Bryant, Washington, Boyd, the triple threat. It's ladies' night. We are going to do it right. Oh, boy. But first, I'm going to show you, never before seen, probably going to get in trouble for it, but I'm going to show it anyway, from my home state. Yes, they have court. Jersey. I'm going to play a little Jersey right now, and it is a goodie. I nerd out to it still, but this one was a good one. I always got to show Jersey. Let's do it. So, this is right from their site. So, I'm going to get in trouble for this, definitely. Let's roll.
Hello in the booth. May I have your names? Hello, sitting down with the yellow. May I have your name, ma'am?
Me?
Yes.
Washington.
Okay, thank you. Sir, sitting down, may I have your name?
Terrence Council.
Okay, sir, we'll start with you first.
All right. We can go on. All right, we're on the record. We'll address Ms. Washington's first. This is Judge McBride. This is Superior Court of New Jersey Criminal Division. Judge McBride conducting proceedings for the Zoom video platform on June 15, 2023. State versus Tamisha Washington. Warrant 2023-9050412. Counsel, your appearances for the record, starting with the prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecutor Shannon Phillips on behalf of the state.
Good morning.
Greg Butler on behalf of Tamisha Washington.
Good morning. Ms. Washington, can you hear us? Thumbs up. Thank you. All right, first appearance was done on 2 days ago. As to the detention motion, Ms. Phillips, go ahead.
Judge, the state's asking for a one-day postponement for discovery purposes.
Your Honor, I don't have an objection. I know that we don't have, 1 day would bring us to Monday. We don't have detention hearings on Monday. I don't take any position as to if the court will move that to Tuesday.
Judge, the state would ask for basis of good cause.
I will grant the request.
No, Trevor.
Good cause and the need for the discovery. Can't have the proceeding effectively without it. So the detention motion will be moved to June the 20th. I'm actually doing detentions that day.
Yes,
So
it
Tuesday,
is,
June the
Shano.
20th is when the
Oh, my boy Shano. Member for 3 months. Jersey in the house. What up, Shane? Forget about it.
detention motion will happen under the law. Ms. Washington, you, a defendant who has a detention
For
motion
life.
filed, and when it's adjourned, the person remains in custody until the new date. So this concludes your court appearance here for today. Your detention hearing will be on Tuesday of next week. All right, thanks.
So I gotta stay until Tuesday.
Yes.
Y'all some dick suckers, bro. Fuck you in this morning.
Woo! Good old Jersey. We do it right in Jersey. All right, let's. All right, let's get a little Judge Washington. First pointer sister up. Let's do it. This one, guys, these are serious cases. Oh, Richard Harrison. What's up, baby? Please don't shout this fact. I don't know what he's talking about. What up, Richard? All right, here we go.
I'll see you back here on August 17th.
All righty. Thank you.
Oh, wait, no, wait a second. That's a Thursday still. I gotta give you a different date. One
All right.
second.
The 15th?
All right, yes, the 15th.
All right.
And she has indicated that if you're doing well, we'll excuse you from that one. So keep up the good work, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye. State of Michigan versus Leonard Cole. Case number 21S00757.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Chinazi Carey Akinwumi, Your Honor, on behalf of Cole Leonard. Mr. Leonard, can you state your name for the record?
Cole Leonard.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Cole Leonard.
Okay.
All right, we're here for sentencing today.
That is correct, Your Honor. We've had an opportunity to review the report. We asked that there's no changes to be made to the report. And in regards to the recommendation, we are asking that the court follow the recommendation.
Including the jail term?
Ideally, no, but Mr. Leonard and I have talked. We anticipated the possibility of jail time. Obviously, it's not something that he's happy with, but he fully understands it. Taking responsibility for this, he does not want to be insensitive to the parties involved and request a reduction or anything else of that nature. But we would still like to offer some information to the court when that time comes.
Thank you. Ms. McDuffie, I understand that you have a statement that needs to be read and maybe additional information.
That's correct, Your Honor. We can start with the statement. I believe Ms. Wilson's going to read it.
Ms. Wilson?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I've been asked to read this victim impact statement by the daughter of the victim, Michelle Turner.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Dear Judge Washington, I'm writing this impact statement for my mom and how losing her has affected our family. First, I'd like to thank the court, police, doctors, and everyone that has helped in this case. My family appreciates it. My mom was a hard worker, and everyone who knew her loved her. She was kind, caring, and tried to help anyone that needed. She was my rock and the one that was always there for me. Growing up, she took on motherhood all by herself. No matter what came up, she got through it. She taught me to be strong and independent, and I thought I was, but
Thank you, Sparta, for the dono. Miss you too.
Losing her has broken me in so many ways. She was always there for my kids and me, every holiday, every birthday, took the kids shopping for school or to buy me something for Christmas or Mother's Day. She spoiled her grandbabies and would spend every free minute she had with them. She was their only grandparent in their lives and took on her role as grandma proudly. Having them spend the nights, taking them to the park, coming over and helping with the garden, or anything that I might have needed. Since she's passed away, not a day has gone by that my kids haven't talked about her. They send balloons up to her on her birthday and ask me to play her videos. Keeping her memory alive for them is a job I didn't want to happen for a long time. That job is a daily task. I tell them stories about who she was and how much she loved them. My mom was going to get married in the spring of 2021. She got a new house and was going to get a new career soon and a new car. Her car was going to my oldest kid in a few years, and now that can't even happen. Her car was so badly damaged, and all the Christmas and birthday gifts, all the photos and other items she kept in her car were lost. Sadly, there were things that were passed down from my grandmother in her car, and we couldn't ever get them back due to the trunk not being able to open. I know nothing can ever bring her back. I wish she wasn't on the road that day. I wish she told her workers she couldn't cover them. I wish she got to carve pumpkins with her. I wish this and was all a bad dream, but sadly it's not. I've been here trying to figure out how to move past the pain the last 2, almost 3 years, and try to be strong like she was, to be the person she wanted me to be. One last thing I would like to ask Judge Washington is that you agree to the probation recommendation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Ms. McDuffie.
Your Honor, I'll just ask the court if you've had an opportunity to view the photos from this case.
Oof.
Yes. So I have to say that it's one thing to look at what a charge is and to read a police report, but I think that it just took my breath away to see how powerful and devastating the impact was. The physical, literal impact on the decedent in this case, because the car is gone. There's just half of it there. And in an instant, as we just heard, lives have been changed forever. I can understand that Mr. Leonard is relatively young, and that may be a factor in why he may not appear to fully grasp what has happened here. And if this were, but it just magnifies the concern that I have that this wasn't a thing that happened just one time, that there have been multiple crashes, just generally. That's another thing that gives me even greater concern, that he doesn't necessarily grasp what happens when he gets behind the wheel, and the impact he can have with another offense after this one. So I don't know what it will take for that to change for him to truly understand and start to really get it. And I think that this case being charged as a misdemeanor probably isn't contributing to him really understanding the gravity of this, because it certainly could have been a felony, and in my opinion should have been. But I hope that this period of incarceration, if the court does follow the recommendation, and I'm asking that the court does that as well, begins that process at the very least.
Thank you, Ms. McDuffie. Ms. Akuriakaroli, is there anything else you would like to say?
Your Honor, in
How could
speaking
you
with
defend
Mr.
him?
Leonard, I tried to see if there was a way to, I guess, get out of him what probation couldn't. Mr. Leonard explained to me that he understands how it seems as if he does not understand it. I think initially he was also dealing with the trauma that he experienced with that crash, being so young. And I know that I'm not trying to compare his own experience with that of the family in the loss that they experienced. But I think unfortunately he dealt with it in a manner that just contributed to his issues. He says that he has really felt kind of in a very still position, essentially trapped within his own self, unable to move forward, unable to go left or right. And he was really just mentally paralyzed for quite some time. I think that after the Dearborn Heights situation, he has now started to take a real hard look at himself to figure out exactly why it is that he finds himself in these particular situations. I don't want to minimize it, so I'm choosing my words very carefully. All in all, Judge, it was an accident. Mr. Leonard would like for the family of the victim to know that if he could take it back, he would. There were things that he 100% could have done differently, but never in a million years, waking up that morning, did he anticipate or expect or even plan for something like that to happen. And he understands that even with that, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't bring the victim back. Mr. Leonard is currently doing probation. He states that although he did catch that new OW,
catch.
although he did.
Washington's not playing.
Commit a new offense
Oh,
after this. That's
He states that he has been taking some really serious steps towards rehabilitating himself.
yeah, okay.
Based on his decision making, and he doesn't drive anymore. He states he has not used any alcohol whatsoever since that October
What's up, Miss
situation.
Dailies?
I
We'll
don't
help
think
you out.
that there was an
Thank
issue
you.
with alcohol use or dependency, but I do think that he was just dealing with what he had gone through. He's prepared today, Your Honor. He has essentially just been holding his breath to find out what the penalty for this particular situation is going to be. And we are throwing ourselves, he's throwing himself at the mercy of the court. I don't know if he wants to make any statements today. He says he literally does not know what to say. He does not know how to say it, but he wants the court and the victim's family to know that there's not a day that goes by that he does not think about that particular situation, the victim in this matter, and his heart truly does go out to them. Leonard, is there anything that you'd like to say to the court?
I just want to say it was a very tragic accident. The worst possible outcome. And my heart goes out to the family. I'm just very sorry and remorseful for what happened that day. And it's something I'll have to live with and carry for the rest of my life. That's all I would like to say.
Thank you, sir. You know, Miss McDuffie is right. When you look at these pictures, and then you take into consideration that even after this, regardless of what you were going through, you chose to get behind the wheel of a car and drink and drive again. I, quite frankly, don't know how to reconcile that with anything other than a true lack of concern for humanity. The worst possible outcome occurred, and yet you did something again that could have caused the same situation. It is a disrespect to her life, a disrespect to humanity, and a true disrespect for your own self. And it's the sentence of this court. That you serve 365 days in the Washtenaw County Jail.
Okay.
0 days credit for time served.
Time served.
You are to serve 60 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. 305 days are suspended. 24 months on probation.
What?
30 days of community service. Fines and court costs in this particular case for a total of $995. $30 per month probation oversight fee. Restitution is
Wait.
reserved for 60 days.
Unbelievable.
Meet with probation when and where directed, including in and out home visits. Complete the Class A training center decision-based driving course, levels 1 and 2. Complete the MAD victim impact panel in person within 90 days of sentencing. Submit to pay and be responsible for drug and alcohol tests 4 times per month and any other time as requested by the court, any probation, police agency, or treatment provider. No use or possession of alcohol, marijuana, illegal drugs, or any other drug paraphernalia, and no being in the presence of anyone else possessing or using those. No use or possession of any firearm.
So I know you guys are getting crazy in the chat, but correct me if I'm wrong. There's statutes she has to follow. Hands are tied. And it's his second offense. The first one was resulting in death. This second one was just the DUI. So there was no resulting in death with this one. So I guess it just goes on the books as a second DUI. And I mean, she probably threw the book at him as much as she possibly could. I'm going to look this up. I didn't have time. I usually do this for you guys, but I'll look this up.
Firearm components, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons, and no being in the presence of anyone carrying or using those.
But why
Do not drive
suspend?
until your
Throw 'em
license
in.
has been properly restored, and if granted a restricted license by SOS at any time, you must drive only according to those restrictions.
Exactly, Y2K.
You to have a review in this case in 90 days. And that will be on September the 14th of 2023. When will you be able to turn yourself into the jail, sir?
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Leonard is asking if he could turn himself in on Monday.
Oh yeah, Monday.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Oh.
Monday, 8 a.m. by 8 a.m. And that is on June 19th, 2023. I will see you on September the 14th, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I just thought that was a great clip. Little off topic of us joking around and everything, but Washington is just awesome. She gave him, that was scolding number 1. Scolding number 2. Judge Bryant, let's roll. So I was gonna play the foil one, but most of you guys watch my videos, so we don't want to rewatch that one. Right after the foil, it was this, and this one's just as good. The foil was great, the tether foil. Check it out. Join my Discord. All my videos, you get the upload from my man Grim. He does a great job. My moderators are on top of everything in the Discord. Join it. It's fantastic. Got over 200 members. We have such a good time in there. So let's go to Bryant. And this one is drug use. And my man gets a little scolding here. Let's roll.
That recommendation for the plea agreement, Your Honor. I also see that probation has recommended 15 months of probation, Your Honor. I believe it's to the discretion of the court. I understand that someone from the specialty court is here, so we have no objection if Mr. Martin is eligible for specialty court program.
Julio.
All right, Ms. Henderson.
Yes, Your Honor, there are a couple requests in regards to the recommendation. I do see that there was a recommendation.
I agree, Abe. I agree. I like her demeanor. She's firm but fair. She does allow a lot. But to her credit, so does a lot of other judges. A lot.
For mental health
But
evaluation and treatment.
Point well taken, Abe. Like it.
Mr. Martin does not have any history of mental health And so we would ask that that portion of the recommendation not be followed, as we don't believe that it's necessary. In regards to the specialty drug treatment court, we do understand that that might be indicative of the fact that he tested positive for certain drugs back when they did the screening. After speaking to Mr. Martin, I have had an opportunity to review what his drug use looks like. It is my understanding that he does not have a serious drug use in regards to the drugs that he uses. Occasionally, he might use certain drugs. We would ask that the court give Mr. Martin an opportunity to prove to the court and probation that his statements made to myself are true. If he tests positive for those drugs on his first drug test, then I think that the issue of a specialty court might need to be revisited. But as it stands in regards to the original charge at the time of the events, he was not under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. It wasn't a concern. He's recently completed probation, which is also supportive of the fact that he does not have that serious drug use. He was able to successfully complete that probation. We would just ask that the court give Mr. Martin an opportunity to prove to the court that the drug use that he reported to probation does not require a specialty court, Your Honor.
Would Mr. Martin like to make any statement on his own behalf?
I do not believe so, Your Honor, but I can check with you if you have any.
Yes. Your Honor, I would just like to say, I made a mistake. I've made a lot of mistakes. And at this point in my life, I got a kid. It's like I'm at the end of the road. I can't go back. I got to keep going forward. And I just asked for a chance, an opportunity, so I can prove to the court that I can be a better person that I can be.
All right, Mr. Griffin.
Your Honor, I had an opportunity to talk to the defendant and his attorney. I explained to them what sobriety court was and the rules and everything. He does qualify for the program, but they did express that that he did not want to do the program. So, but I just explained to him everything about the program and that he does qualify for it, Your Honor.
And if I send him to the program, what date would I give him for Judge Holmes?
Your Honor, that would be next week on Thursday, June the 22nd at 8:35 a.m.
Thank you so much, Mr. Griffin. I know you all are very busy today. Thank you for logging in. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow at the sobriety court graduation for the people who were able to kick their habit. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. So the court is going to already impose sentence, and I'm debating. One moment, but I want to correct something that you said, counsel. I shouldn't say correct. I want to address something that you said. And you said that the fact that
Charles?
he successfully completed a probation is evidence that he doesn't have a serious drug problem. And that's not true. He successfully completed a probation. First of all, he had at least 4 contacts with the criminal justice system that relate to drugs. He has at least 4. And then one of them, it says one of them was dismissed, or a case was dismissed, or a count was dismissed.
Mike.
And then, so here's the situation. When I look at his resume, when I look at his criminal resume, I say, Mr. Martin is either using drugs or selling drugs. And either one of them is bad. So he's either using drugs or selling drugs. And then there are people that successfully complete drug treatment court. And then to our chagrin, they found dead in a drug house the very next week. Tomorrow we're going to a drug court graduation. And it's gonna be phenomenal. I mean, the sponsors and the things that they're getting that have lined up to celebrate the people who have successfully completed the program. And then every time they celebrate the people who successfully complete the program, I'm always praying that Judge Holmes doesn't have to be sitting somewhere so utterly destroyed that one of her participants who dare to even grab.
You guys ever catch Judge Shannon Holmes' drug court? She has those live. So if you not subscribed to her channel, she does the drug court live. I don't know the celebrations, but they go on, they do the graduations. I don't know if they televise, put it on YouTube, the one that Brian's going to, but weekly she's on doing that. It's every Friday.
Graduate has OD'd on drugs. And I'm more understanding and more patient with people who are addicted to drugs than I ever am
Definitely,
on the
Trevor.
people who would dare put this poison and participate in selling poison to our young, bright, beautiful people who get their hands on the wrong thing. And I always think of of a person who sells drugs, and I wonder, why won't they just take that same energy and take that same business savvy? Because it requires a business mind to sell drugs. Why won't they just take that and do something that's beneficial to the community? Why would anybody want to dibble and dabble with cocaine? Why would anybody want to dibble and dabble in drugs, knowing what we see on the street? Sometimes, okay. Okay. And, I tell people on here how when my children were younger, and they, of course, they're all adults now, but when they were younger in school, and I used to take them to school, and I would never take the freeway when I took my kids to school. I never took the freeway. I always took the street. And we would go through the one school that when my daughter was in the one school, we would go through and we would have to go over there by Boston Edison. And then, of course, so then I would drive down like Woodward. And then I would turn it. Oh Lord, I didn't disable the chat? How they still chatting from that waiting room? Oh my goodness. It don't say that they can chat. How are they chatting? That's a mess. Okay.
The best.
And then I would tell my daughter, I would say, we have choices in life. My daughter and my son, we have choices in life. And you could choose to live where your parents are living or where these people are living. You could choose these nice houses. You could choose to be a professional. And then we would drive down Woodward and drive by the prostitutes and drive by the people addicted to drugs. And I'll say, or you can choose this. It is your choice. It is your choice. So choose whatever you want to choose. And then it is your choice, how you want to live. So I'm always disheartened when I see a brilliant young man standing in front of me. Okay. Another one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Have Officer Kratz bring up the other note and then contact Mr. Simon and tell him I need him to get to the court. Ask him how soon can he get to the court?
He's in here, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'm always, disheartened because we have the ability, you have the ability to be anything that you want to be. And I was happy to hear you say, you have a child, you got to do some things different, because you do. But understand this, that there are many men in prison that have children. There are many men strung out on drugs that have children. Now, I'm excited to hear that the child is perhaps helping you to know that you need to focus on doing, the right thing. You're smart, Mr. Martin. I I'm not going to just outright accuse you of what I said. I'm looking at your thing and saying either you selling or taking. I don't know which one it is. I'm just looking based on the charges. But I think you're a smart young man. And I believe you could do anything you want to do, which also means that you could do right if you want to do it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to send you to drug court yet. I'm going to give you an opportunity on regular probation, but understand this. I need to let people know this. The specialty courts, they have to have 14 months. So if I keep you on probation with me, say for 6 months, and then you keep testing positive and you keep whatever, and I decide I'm going to send you to specialty court. 1 second.
She disappeared. Oh, look at her denim jacket. Look, 1908. Look at her. She's styling and profiling. Woo!
They need some water. Get them some water for me. Okay. And then if it's 6 months and then I decide I'm going to send you to specialty court, you have to understand they have to start with 14 months. So you're going to be on probation then for the 6 months plus the 14 months. So I'm going to give you a chance. You sounded like you were serious with your words or whatever. So I'm going to give you a chance on regular probation. So with that in mind, the court is going to impose the following sentence. There is a recommendation for 15 months, and I'm going to honor that recommendation based upon your PSIR. And I'm going to sentence you to 15 months of probation. That will put a final review date for September the 16th, 2024. You will have an opportunity for early discharge at the halfway point. That's 7.5 months. But I'm going to bring you in before the 7.5 months because I want to see how you're doing. I don't want to just leave you out there and then say, oh, okay, well, you messing up, so I'm going to send you to sobriety court. So I'm going to bring you back in September. I'm going to bring you back to see me September the 14th. That'll be your first review at 10:00 a.m. I want to see what your drug tests and everything are looking like at that time. The court is going to impose the following conditions of your probation. You shall not violate any criminal law of any governmental unit. Do not leave the state without the consent of the court. Make a truthful report to probation on a monthly basis. Notify probation immediately of any change of your address, phone number, or employment status. Pay the following fines, costs, and fees.
Oh, that's good to know about the 1908. Who said that? Thank you, Chastity. Appreciate that. I love fun facts. Useless information. I love it. That's very cool.
$10 fine. That's the mandatory cost is $210. The court is imposing a $300 fine, a $100 substance abuse evaluation fee, $35 per month in oversight fees. So the total oversight fees for the 15 months is $525. However, if you are discharged early, that $525, it'll be prorated. So if I discharge you after 7.5 months, then you will only have to pay 7.5 months worth of oversight fees. Of course, there is no restitution. And these are the conditions of your probation. You shall not use or possess any illegal substance. You shall not use or possess any marijuana without a valid medical marijuana card. You shall not use or possess any opiates without a valid prescription that is on file with probation and a letter of explanation from the doctor as to why you are in need of the opiate. You shall not drive without a valid driver's license. You shall submit to random urinalysis twice per month. I'm not gonna order the mental health evaluation. I don't know why they put
Thanks,
that on there,
Taze.
but I'm not gonna order that. And then I am going to, since he tested positive for the cocaine, I am gonna order the outpatient treatment.
Hello, Real Talk with Retta.
You must pay any tickets you have with 36 District Court. According to this report, I don't think you had a balance. Well, there's a $50, but that might be associated with this case. And then come downstairs, I'm gonna bring in some more people so that.
Okay, so I am going to roll into the main event. We got over 200 in the chat. This is probably the clip of the week. It has everything. Judge Boyd, she's at her best. She catches somebody in court. She yells. She's compassionate. She's stern. She drops the hammer. Oh, it is work of art. Let's roll. Main event time. Judge Boyd. Let's roll. Make sure you hit that like, people. This one is phenomenal.
But punishment is
Okay, so I'll give you the backdrop. Sentencing today for this upstanding citizen here. She'll get into what he was doing. And the attorney brings people for him. Why he shouldn't go to jail, how he's turning his life around, thinking about bada-boo. Judge Boyd graciously, with a smile, and then let's roll.
To be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state opposes your application. They're taking in consideration 2022 CR 5308 and 2023 CR 0224. And there's to be restitution to the complainant. And you are subjected to the full range of punishment if you didn't appear for sentencing, but you are here. So have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objection?
No objection.
State, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense has 3 witnesses to present to the court today, including Mr. Buchan.
All right, call your witness.
First, the defense would call Ariana Donovan.
All right, Ariana Donovan.
Sir, can you step on this side?
All right, and Mr. Garahan, you could move over. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. You're gonna need to speak up so the court reporter can hear. All right, state your name for the record.
Ariana Donovan,
All right, how do you spell your first name?
Aryanna.
All right, defense.
Ms. Donovan, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you explain to the court, please, what your relationship is with Dominic?
I'm his girlfriend and the mother of his child.
How long have you known Dominic?
Right now it's been 1.5 years. We met in elementary, but we just recently started talking again.
So about 1.5 years of having a relationship with him.
Yes.
And you mentioned you're the mother
Welcome to the squad, Cherubi.
of his child.
Yes.
How old is your child?
Cherubi's in the
1 month.
Discord, isn't she?
Boy or girl? Since finding out that you were pregnant, has Dominic been an active participant was he an active participant in the pregnancy? Did he go with you to
Yes.
doctor appointments, things like
To
that?
everyone, yeah.
Since the child has been born, has Dominic been involved in your child's life?
Yes.
How is he involved?
Well, since he's working, he's been providing like diapers, wipes, clothes if we need it.
Do the two of you live together?
Yes.
Where does he?
4th Street?
Which Fourth Street?
Yes.
Since being in a relationship with him, has he exhibited any sort of signs of violence or aggression for you?
No, he hasn't.
Do you have any fear of or concern of danger to you or your child from
No.
Dominic? What was it?
No.
Are you asking the court today to sentence Dominic to prison or for probation?
Probation.
And why is that?
Well, I want him to raise our child. So, because I know how it is to not have parents in my life, being in jail. So I just don't want that from her.
Are you familiar with the crime to which Dominic has pled to?
Yes.
Is there anything further you would wish to tell the judge to plead in terms of an argument to keep him out of prison? Anything you just wish for the judge to know?
I want him to be able to like be there while she grows up. If you let him.
Is this your first child?
Yes, it does.
I have no further questions.
All right, state.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Where does he work at this current time?
54th Street.
Okay, thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Just a clarification.
Sure.
54th Street, the restaurant?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense will now call Amber Clark.
All right, Amber Clark,
Oh, Asher, I'm sorry.
Asher Clark,
Amber Asher.
Amber Asher. Thank you. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Amber Asher.
Character witness number 2.
All right, you can lower your hand. Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Asher, good morning.
Or
What is your relationship with Dominic?
he's my oldest son.
Jason. Jason,
Thank you. Your Honor.
you're welcome.
Mr. Attorney, I'm sorry. So he's your oldest son?
That's correct.
How many children do you have?
6.
And what do you do for a living, Ms. Asher?
I deliver for Uber.
Like Uber Eats? Okay, thank you. Oh, and just for clarification for the record, we'll need a.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, Robert Morley is our first sponsor for the Judge Bryant bomb clip. Thank you, Robert. Always supporting the channel.
So in the interview that Dominic provided to probation, he had mentioned that he was mostly raised from childhood by his aunt and uncle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you explain to the court how he ended up in the custody of his aunt and uncle?
Due to domestic violence between his father, him, and his younger brother were both removed from my custody, and my aunt legally adopted them.
And just so the judge is aware, was this domestic violence? Were you charged with domestic violence? Were you an aggressor in these situations?
No, I was the victim.
Did you feel that because of that circumstances, you felt Dominic would have been safer in the custody of your aunt and uncle?
That's correct.
After he was put into the custody of your aunt and uncle, were you just no longer involved with his life?
I've always been there.
So you've played an active role in his upbringing?
That's correct.
Was Dominic's biological father, was he ever in the picture for him?
No, I think the last time Dominic saw him, he was like 3.
3 years old?
So I'm sorry, I'm confused. So the person that she's saying was abusive to her, is that the defendant's biological father?
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
No,
Thank you. Could you please describe the judge, Dominic's character? Let's start, I guess, before this incident, and any change or growth in his character that you've seen since he was arrested on these charge.
I would have to say that before he was arrested on this charge, there was like tremendous maturity happening. And I won't say he made a mistake. He made some really bad choices in that time frame. My dad had just passed away like 2 months before that, and a lot was going on with me and him and his younger brother.
His younger brother being Isaiah?
That's correct.
Mhm.
And they kind of just lost their way for a while there. My dad was Dominic's best friend, the one that he always talked to. And then he felt like the one person who was always there for him was gone.
Since he was arrested for this charge, the aggravated robbery charge, how would you describe, I guess, the changes that he's made in his life, improvement?
I see you guys asking about the charge. She didn't go over the charge. She's gonna go over the charge. I didn't want to spoil it. She's gonna go over the charge when she confronts him and gives him the sentence. When she carries out the punishment phase.
If any.
He started to get his life on track as far as employment and talked about school, getting his GED, and started to care about where his life was going instead of just being this empty shell every day.
Parking ticket.
What about
No,
any sort of
Mike.
change in his character since learning that he was to become a father?
He's very responsible. He's a great dad as far as I've seen so far. He does everything he can to try to help with the baby.
As far as you're aware, would there be potential issues in terms of raising a child if Dominic is not involved?
Financially, of course, and also she beats her dad.
Obviously, being his mother, knowing him since he from birth, any history at all that Dominic had, with aggression or violence or acting out in anger, like was he getting into a lot of fights in school, anything like that?
No.
But you had mentioned your younger son, Isaiah. Thank you. He was mentioned as well in Dominic's interview. Dominic admitted that Isaiah was the shooter in this incident. As far as you're aware, is that correct?
That is correct.
Where is Isaiah now?
He's TDC.
Is it because of this incident that he is there?
That's one of the incidents for the reason why he's there. He had numerous charges.
I know it's tough as a mother to talk about your children in this life, but would you describe Isaiah as being more of a troubled or violent individual compared to Dominic?
He's definitely more of fly off the handle than Dominic. Dominic more level-headed than Isaiah's more rowdy. I don't know how else to explain him, like.
That's fair. Could you please explain to the judge why you believe that Dominic is deserving of a chance on deferred adjudication rather than going to prison?
I think that's it right there. Is just a chance. He just needs a chance to not become a statistic of his. He made a horrible choice and he knows that, but we just ask for mercy, that's all. He has to be accountable for his actions and we understand that.
Is there anything else that you would like to inform the judge? Anything you feel is important for her to know about Dominic?
I just know that his heart's in the right place and his mind's in the right place and he just needs, he wants to do things right and be a good productive member of society, a good man, a good father and a good, fiance to his girl. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman Chairman.
All right, State.
Yes, but are you aware that your son is also accused of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and theft of that motor vehicle on June 23rd, 2021?
That's correct.
Just one second. Excuse me, lady in the shirt. Who are you? No, who are you? Are you here? You're a friend? Well, friend, this is not visitation and you're talking to inmates in the box. And let me tell you what the problem with that is. The problem with that, oh, don't give me attitude. Woo! The problem with that is the fact that the officers are in charge of security and you're messing with security. So friend of the person in the box, step outside the courtroom.
I could cut it right there. How great. Wow. We have more. Fantastic.
And the friend in the box, this is not visitation. You need to do that at the jail. No. Okay. Yes.
Yes, I am aware that he had those other two charges. One of the charges actually, the vehicle
lady in
in
the
question
shirt.
was actually stolen by my other son.
So I guess since you brought up your other son, so two of your sons, one being the oldest, and then Isaiah is the next one. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So both of them are out car hopping. You know what that means?
Yes.
What does that mean?
They're basically going from car to car, getting whatever they can out of it.
Were they living with you at this time?
No.
Well,
Okay, so there's the charge. Car hopping. And, well, you're basically just going from car to car, stealing, robbing, and just running amok on people's cars.
you stated that he didn't, the defendant in this case, your son, didn't he come to live with you when he was 17 or 18?
When he turned 18, he did.
Okay, so how old was he when he was committing these felonies? Because he has to be 18 or older, so he was staying with you when he was 18.
I'm sorry, State, just one second. Excuse me. Guys, don't approach the coordinator while we're on the record because there's chatter over here. There's chatter in the box. It's making it difficult for me to hear on this very important case, which all the cases are important, and it's making it difficult for the court reporter to hear. All right, so you may continue.
So you're aware that, I mean, when he was committing theft of vehicle or unauthorized use of motor vehicle, he was staying with you, is that right?
At first, he
Stealing
would go
the
back and
cars,
forth.
too.
It wasn't like one day he brought all his stuff and moved in. It was, he came, he stayed the weekend, and then it was, it kind of just solidified into like a permanent thing. Isaiah ended up going back to my aunt's because he didn't have a choice.
So to be fair, I mean, your sons and your children are moving from your house to somebody else's house. You don't know exactly where they are, do you?
I don't agree with that
Okay, so you know where they're at all times?
for the most part.
So on December 25th, going into December 26th, when this aggravated robbery where their shooting happened, you knew where they were on Christmas night?
Little
I
more.
didn't know where they were at that time, no.
Okay, so now do you agree with me that you don't?
Okay, there it is. Started off with the car hopping. aggravated robbery on Christmas night.
Don't know where they're at all times
Well, I don't think anybody knows where their children are at all times when they're at that age.
on Christmas night.
Well, I do have 4 other kids at
On
home,
Christmas
so, yeah.
night.
I mean,
This one child of yours that's over the age of 18 staying with you, and then you also have a juvenile son that was charged with this aggravated robbery that went to TYC for this actual ag robbery. So you didn't know where your juvenile son was that night when he's committing an ag robbery. Is that correct?
I mean, I guess that's correct, but like I
Okay.
said, my
Thank you.
aunt has custody of Isaiah and had custody of him at that time.
And actually, your son in this particular case is actually says that he's going to return to the aunt and uncle's residence and stay there with his girlfriend, with their, I believe, this young child, the 9-month-old. Is that right?
Yes,
And
separated.
not with you. Is that right?
That's correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any other questions?
Some follow-up, Your Honor.
Yes.
How old is Dominic today?
20.
20 years old. So at the time that this occurred, roughly around 18 years old. Does that sound right, or is that incorrect?
That's correct.
Were at that time, were you keeping tabs on him at all times? Or was he of the age where he was? Let me rephrase it this way. At 18, is he an adult?
Yes, at 18.
I'm sorry, just to rephrase, at that age of 18, is he considered an adult?
Yes.
No further questions.
All right, any other questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
I just have a few questions, if there's no objection.
No objection.
State, Your Honor.
All right, so were your parental rights terminated?
No, I actually relinquished my rights. It was an ongoing CPS case, and they basically told me I had ran out of time. They'd already given me an extension.
So that means that there was a legal case, am I correct?
Yes,
And as a part of that legal case, there were certain things you had to complete.
before I relinquished my rights. That's
No,
correct.
there were certain things that you had to complete because they were giving you a chance to have your children in your custody, correct?
That's correct.
So what did you not complete?
I actually didn't complete, well, I didn't maintain my sobriety at that time.
Okay,
So I went into inpatient.
all right. Thank you so much for coming in and giving me some insight into your son. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, call your next witness.
Defense would not call Dominic.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state your name for the record.
Dominic Barrington.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dominic, do you understand why we're here today? I do understand. You understand that you're facing the potential possibility, if the judge follows this agreement, for a maximum of 8 years in prison. I do understand. What are you asking of the judge today?
Your Honor, I really just want to ask for forgiveness. If I had the chance to speak to the victim and let him know how sorry I am and how bad I feel for the incident and what went down that night, I wish I could come up with the words to apologize to him. I really don't think that there's enough words or things that I can say to him that is gonna make it better. I was traumatized that day. I was also shot, and I just can't imagine how traumatized that his family and he is. And if I had the opportunity to apologize, I would do so.
It wasn't the wrong screen. I was showing you the news report. That was him.
I don't think that would take it away or make things better. But if I had the
You
opportunity to
guys.
go back in time and fix things and not do them the way that I did them, I would. I really am just praying and asking that you give me a chance, Your Honor. I make some very bad choices, and I'm trying to turn that around. I didn't have a father figure to tell me the right from wrong, so I learned the hard way. And this is one of those many times that I'm learning the hard way. I just please ask you that you give me a little bit of leniency and push for the probation instead of prison time, so that way I can be there around my daughter while she grows up and she doesn't have to grow up without a father like I did. The same thing as my fiance. She grew up without her father, and I don't want that for baby girl. I was also molested as a kid. And I don't want that for my daughter. I don't want her to not have her parents around to watch her, to know that she's okay 25/8. I don't want her to make the wrong choices that I did. And I don't want her to have to grow up without a father figure. I am extremely sorry for my actions and my part in the incident, but I really do not believe that I deserve time because
What?
I didn't play the part in shooting the gun, and I take full responsibility for my actions. I was there and I made that decision to do so. I just hope that the victim can find some type of forgiveness for me. And I hope that you can understand that I really was just a broken soul at that time, and I'm really trying to turn myself around now, man. I really am. And I'm doing everything I can to do so. I'm working, I'm providing for my baby girl. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I haven't had any violations on my monitor. I've gone to and from work, done what I was supposed to do. And I will do more to prove that I am capable of succeeding and growing and becoming a better man as time goes by. I'll do any type of counseling, any type of anger management problems, anything. I want to do whatever it is that I can to rehabilitate myself and better myself as a man, as a father, as a son, as an individual. Like I really hope that you can forgive me, Your Honor, and that you understand that I'm not a criminal. I just made some very wrong choices, and I'm doing my best to fix them and turn around.
So, Dominic, you had mentioned about forgiveness. and
Thank you,
just
Cha.
to be clear,
OG.
Are you asking the judge for a chance on deferred adjudication?
Yes, Your Honor, that's exactly what I'm asking.
You had also mentioned to the judge, willingness to do whatever he orders. But let me ask you this, do you personally believe that you are in need of counseling and classes, parenting classes, self-help classes? And do you feel like that's what you need internally?
Yes, I do. I'm always trying to better myself, and at this point in time, like right now, I'm focused on that 100%. Like that's my main goal, is to better myself as a human being. I made some very bad choices, and I'm not trying to go back down that road that I went down. I had dealt with the loss of my grandpa, and he was the closest thing to a father figure I had.
What sort of
life.
goals do you have in life? Do you have a career path? Any sort of plans that you have for your future?
Honestly, if you would have asked me 10 years ago or 15 years ago what I wanted to be when I grow up, I would have said that I wanted to be a dad, and I've gotten that wish come true. I just really hope that I can spend that time with my daughter and not have to be taken away from her.
Glasses are
What
off.
plans do you have in
You're
place to
right,
be a
Tech.
better father to your daughter?
I plan to be around and provide, to love her unconditionally, on a level that I never was shown. I just want to be there for her. That I think that that's the most important thing mentally, is she needs that support. She needs me around, and if she doesn't have me around, I think that she's just gonna be a loose end.
I'll pass it.
All right, state.
Yes, you stated you're not a criminal, is that correct?
Yes.
How many cars have you burglarized?
I don't know. I don't know, sir.
I mean, too many to count.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's called car hopping, where you would go around a neighborhood or apartment complex and check doors to see if they're unlocked and then burglarize the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And that's a criminal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't know how many cars that you've done. The night that this happened, on Christmas night, going into Christmas, the day after Christmas, your brother had a gun with him,
Yes.
and you knew he had a gun with him.
No, I did not.
You didn't.
I had no idea he had a weapon.
So the two of y'all are burglarizing vehicles, and your brother has a gun, and you don't know he has a gun, and your brother used that gun on the victim in this case, and then also including you, he shot you also in that act, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So after it happened, what did y'all do?
Well, after the whole incident, I had went straight home and I rinsed my arm off. That's what I did, and I wrapped it up.
What'd y'all do for the victim? Nothing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. May I ask a question, or do you have more questions?
I have no further questions.
Right. So there's this vehicle, and there are Christmas gifts in the vehicle. And I read the stipulations. I always reread.
Okay, so before Boyd gets into it, main event time, I just want to shout out Team Skeptic. I know there's been many people that helped me in the last 4 months. Team Skeptic has done nothing but help this channel and ask nothing in return. And that's what I like to do in this community. So whoever came from him, I know a lot of my people watch him. Thank you, Skeptic. You're the man. You guys are all probably subscribed to him. If you're not, go check him out. He's legit. He's real. He's fantastic.
Those, and I read the PSI report. So these people were taking Christmas gifts out of their car because it's Christmas time. They leave their door open, as people sometimes do, because they're trying to load the Christmas gifts in, probably preparing Christmas for their children, because Santa Claus is real. So trying to make sure that they know that Santa Claus was able to stop by the house, and you and your brother decide to take their Christmas gifts. Were you able to take some of their Christmas gifts?
Your Honor, I don't believe that I grabbed anything out of the car.
Well, you and your brother, because you and your brother were doing this together. Were you able to take some of their Christmas gifts?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, not believe so. You know if there were packages wrapped in your vehicle or not.
Well, it was a pretty traumatizing experience for me. Like, my brother had just shot me, and I went to
Well, I mean, your brother shot you by accident.
Yeah.
He was trying to shoot the complainant, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you took some of their Christmas gifts.
Oh.
I would like to know, when you went back home to wash the blood off your arm,
Yes, Your
what
Honor.
happened to their Christmas gifts?
I don't know, because I didn't go that far. My brother dropped me off at the house, and he did what he did with the rest of the stuff.
And what did your uncle ask you? Because I see your uncle was trying to help you with the gunshot wound to
Yes,
your
Your Honor.
arm. What did your uncle do?
I had told him that my brother had shot me, and that's when he got in hydrogen peroxide. We just cleaned it and I wrapped it up.
Did anybody search for a bullet? Was this like Rambo, where somebody has some, gunpowder and they put it in the wound and light it? What did he do? Oh, a visual.
It's right here.
Okay.
That's the thing came out right here.
Oh,
She said, oh, a visual. He's screwed. I don't know why that poll isn't at 100%. He's screwed.
so he knew that there was an exit wound?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. Well, there was one hole right here and one right here. So
And what did your brother say to you when you told him he had shot you? Did he say you're on your own?
Like, it wasn't really like that. It was more like he didn't know what to do.
Was it like a scene out of the movie where you see in a movie where somebody gets shot and they just say,
Thanks,
we
John.
got to help him, and then they just drop him off at the hospital door and keep going? Or did he just drop you off at your uncle's house?
I just got dropped off and cleaned it, and then that's when I was taken to my mom's from there.
All right, then that day you ruined somebody's Christmas,
I understand.
and you understand that the complainant was shot
Yes,
and they didn't go to their uncle's house. They had to go to the hospital.
I understand.
All right, any other questions?
Nothing
No
mistake,
further-
Your Honor.
All right,
no further questions.
any other witnesses?
No further witness.
All right, the court will hear argument. State.
State's asking for 8 years in TDC, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, defense will be asking the court to take into consideration all that has been presented today and give Mr. Briefly a chance on deferred adjudication. You've heard his history, his coming up. He's mentioned that he didn't have a really good, father figure in his life. He had his mother that was there to help raise him, even though she had
Just one
relinquished.
second. I'm sorry. You probably may need to start breathing through your mouth because I see you're hyperventilating.
I have an anxiety disorder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably want to take some deep breaths.
Yeah, You better take some deep breath. Look at Boyd. She's like, you're done. This guy has used every excuse in the book, and now he says he has anxiety disorder. Oh, oh,
Yeah, because she's one on it. Please.
Sure.
oh, please.
I'm not sure
He's
this
just
is about.
pissed because he's gonna get locked up.
May I leave it up here?
Yes.
Right, monkey.
All right. So I hear your,
We've heard the story of his upbringing. You know, even though his mother relinquished her rights, she tried her best to stay in his life as much as possible. But he's admitted to the court that he felt that he just didn't have the right tools in his upbringing to help him. You know, he's gone through some very traumatic experiences
He didn't have the right tools to get out of the crime.
in his life, being molested, and he admitted to that to the probation officer. I will admit to the court that that was the first time I heard that information as well. It was news to me. He expressed in that report that that incident had a huge impact on his life. And led him down a spiral of depression, anxiety, kind of closed himself off. And that led to some, as he described, some very bad choices. Breaking into vehicles seemed to be what his main outlet was. But I think it's very clear from the testimony and from the admissions that he made to the officers and what he's explained to the court that Mr. Brinkley himself, he's not a violent person. He's not the type of person to go out with a gun and looking to harm anybody. I think I don't want to say wrong place, wrong time, because that's not the right word here. It's just, he made a bad choice and he happened to be put into the situation where his brother escalated things to the point where nobody wants to see. And I know that Mr. Brinkley is extremely sorry about what happened. And like he said, there's no way that he can ever express how sorry he is or ever take it back or ever make it better. The person who was responsible for the actual harm is sitting right now in TDC custody.
all
We're
right.
we're just asking for the court to take into consideration Mr. Brinkley's role in this. He is willing to take responsibility. He understands his role in it as well. Just give him a chance for adjudication, 10 years if the court feels necessary. He hasn't had an opportunity to be guided in the right path. You know, he's begging the court for counseling. He's reaching out for a hand, asking for help. He's got this newborn child. Parenting classes are obviously needed. Moral recognition therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. I mean, anything that can be available to Mr. Brinkley.
All
I
right,
know that not
here's
only
my
for-
question though.
Yes, Judge.
Why would somebody who has an aggravated robbery pending decide to get with someone and have a child until they know what's happening with this?
Oh, here we go.
It's all about the choices. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, but he
Those
does
are
have-
just questions, because this aggravated robbery date on it is 2021. So it's not like he had the baby beforehand, because they've just told me the baby is months old. So why would people do that, knowing that this is there, and then come to the court and say,
Thank you, monkey.
my child is going to need a father?
Say something, please, Your Honor.
Oh, sure.
I chose to have my daughter because that was one of the many goals that I wanted to accomplish in life. And
To have a child
well, I wanted to be a father because
while you have an aggravated robbery
honestly,
pending.
ma'am, I wasn't thinking about that. When I got the charge, I didn't get the charge. I got it when I got arrested late in November and my girl was pregnant in August. So I honestly
I
wasn't
mean, but you had to have known that this was coming down the pipeline, because
that's
you've
why-
been shot and the complainant's been shot.
Yes,
So
Your Honor.
you decided to get into a relationship and to have a child. Did you tell her about this aggravated robbery that was pending before you all decided to be in a relationship, or did you drop it on her after you were in a relationship?
She had known about it when I had told her about my gunshot wound to my arm.
Oh, so before you all got into a relationship?
No, it was after our relationship. We had gotten into a relationship after the incident.
See, here's the thing. I don't know why people continue to let people meet their publicists instead of their true selves, because the right way to do things, you should have sat down with her and say, I would love to be in a relationship with you. let me tell you what's going on in my life. I have a pending aggravated robbery, because maybe she would have said, you know what? I want to be in a relationship with you, but we shouldn't have children at this point in time because we don't know what's going to happen with your case. Instead, you all go out and decide to have a relationship, have a child that's months old, then come to the court and use the child for the court as judge. I want to be a father to my child. I don't want my child not to have a father. And then bringing an infant down here who's that age, as I said, to a nasty courtroom. This courtroom is filled with germs. The only other place that's probably has more germ is the jail and the hospital. My grandmother would always say, when you go to the hospital, you need to get out as quickly as possible because it's filled with germs. And no matter how they try to clean it, it's true. So then you want to bring a baby here for me to see, oh, cute little baby, don't take its father away.
Your Honor, honestly, we didn't have somebody to watch her. The person who left was our ride here. And that.
I hope that wasn't a complete stranger you all had watching the baby.
Okay.
I hope it's somebody you can trust. I hope it's somebody you all did a background check on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. With regards to the amount that's owed to the complainant in this case, I see an amount that was paid to Victims of Crime Compensation Fund of $24,000. And I'm assuming that's the amount that was due the complainant.
Your Honor, I did see that, the complainant didn't respond to the PSI report. So the state would say that that's the portion that's owed back to the victims.
Okay.
Compensation.
All right. So I'm sorry, counsel, you may continue.
I actually don't remember where I left off, Your Honor. Well, I guess,
You were telling me about his history and that you learned about his physical abuse that happened to him as he told the court today.
and just knowing that the impact that had on his life and the spiral that drew him down. I don't know. And so he's reaching out to the court, Your Honor, for a chance, not only to stay out of prison, but to be a better person. He wants to learn these things. He wants to go to counseling. He wants to be a better person. And I think that in terms of from other people that I've seen come through this criminal justice system, I think that is a big improvement in terms of, others that, and just to show to the court, he's not here to play around. He's not here to just simply ask for a chance. He is begging for that chance and asking for an opportunity to be a better person and be a better father, and to make things right as best as he can.
All right. State? All right. Mr. Brinkley, I want to let you know that I listened to everything. I've internalized everything. I listened to your mother. I know you had a bad upbringing. I know that your mother did not complete her service plan. That's why her rights were terminated, or that's right, the reason she decided to relinquish. Because I know in CPS cases, you have up to a year to get your life in order. They give you a year where you actually have a free babysitter, and all you have to do is do your parenting class to stay clean and sober. I'm sure she had a choice to make, because I would tell my clients all the time over there, either you want your man or you want your children, who do you choose? And they would always tell me, oh no, I want my children. Next thing you know, what ends up happening, they're back with the man, and their children have to go wherever they go because they get their rights terminated. So I understand. I understand your upbringing was bad. I understand that you have a baby that you want to be there for, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
But I have to balance things and look at both things. Nothing really stopped you from your criminal activities because you said you were car hopping. And I appreciate the fact that you're being 100% honest with the court. Sentencing is about one of the things, it's for rehabilitation, right? But it's also for punishment. Even when I place people on probation, yes, I want them to get rehabilitated, but it's also for punishment. And in your case, if I send you to prison, it's punishment and rehabilitation. This case is going to be a prison case. I know that you are young, but you will still have time to live your life. I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to 8 years in the prison. There's credit for any time served, $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent, take in consideration 2022 CR 5308, 2023 CR 0224. There's to be no contact with Martin Hernandez, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be restitution to the victim of crime compensation fund in the amount of $24,630.40. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or
Thank you,
possess any
Cynthia.
weapons or ammunition.
I know what you
If
were
you have a
talking
question
about.
over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. We can go off the record. Here's the thing, you're young. I know this seems like a lot of time, and any time behind bars is a lot of time, but make use of your time. Don't become institutionalized, learn. You'll still be able to get out of prison and be in your child's life. You understand?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
That was
Travis Murphy.
unbelievable. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Just when you thought we couldn't get any better than that, I got a dono clip. Thank you, Robert Morley, and all my other donos for sponsoring this clip of Judge Bryant. It's quick. It's going to cap the night. Another great live with you guys. Let's get to it.
Device together. Gentlemen, I am going to allow you to start your videos now. Please start your video. Well, this probably why your stuff wasn't working and whatnot, because you trying to work and not in a place with a good signal. So, Mr. Evans, I need you to remain seated, stationary, in an upright position. Mr. Evans, don't interrupt me. I need you to remain seated, stationary, in an upright position, ready to attend court. I need you to remove whatever is on your head, and I need you to understand that the fact that you decided to go to work today is your issue. It is not mine. You have a court hearing this morning, and the fact that you did not take off work is your issue, not mine.
I didn't have any.
Sir, please stop interrupting me. I am not going to compete with your job this morning. I won't compete with your job this morning. I am going to send you to a breakout room. Please accept to join that breakout room. Wait in that breakout room for someone to come in to speak with you, but understand it was your choice to go to work today. You have a court hearing today.
May I say something?
Sending you, no, you may not. I am sending you to breakout room number 2, and whatever you need to say, you can say it to the lawyer that will come in there to speak with you.
Yes, sir.
I am ready on Randall.
The best. The absolute best. Guys, go check out Kitch. She's live with her kitchen, cooking up something with those court clips. I am out. I will see you tomorrow. Batman comes out tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow night. Going with the fam to see Batman. Well, The Flash. Thank you for everybody. Have a good night. I think we hit over 300. We are growing. We're at almost at 12K. We'll be at 25K in no time. Make sure you check out Kitch. Thanks to the Team Skeptic. Thanks to all of you. My name's Phil, and you have been what? Served. Time served.